What's good, guys? Welcome back to the last minute predictions of UFC Vegas 102. Cannonier versus RoboCop, aka Gregory Rodrigues. But before we get right into it, I want to make a quick disclaimer. Yesterday at 1:07 a.m., I'm not sure what it was, but I went on YouTube Studio and it basically said, unfortunately, you are no longer monetized for reused content. So I'm not sure if it was because of the shorts that I posted of Alexandre Topuria or if it was the live stream, but I did not get a warning. So I just want to make a quick disclaimer for all my members that we had yesterday. We had a banger stream, but all that is put to a pause. So unfortunately, guys, I'm going to be consistently uploading. You guys don't have to deal with no more ads, but there's a really good bonus that I have for you guys. I'm going to be posting my community tab. I'm just going to post free bets. For this Saturday. So I'm going to put, let's say I put Jose Delgado, Youssef, Cavalcanti. I'm going to write it down and I'm going to put it on my community tab. So I said all those members, we're going to get free bet slips and behind the scenes footage. They're no longer able to see that no more because unfortunately I have to appeal. So with that being said, everybody's going to get the free bets that I post, and I'm just going to post them on my community tab. So let's get into it, guys. Enough yip yap. I've been having to do this. I've been having to start from the bottom since the beginning. It feels like I'm Grant Dawson and Bobby Green just knocked me out, and I got to work my way up the rankings just like I did at the beginning. So let's do it, guys. Welcome back. Hope you guys are here. Hope you guys are good. God bless you guys all. Let's go. Let's have a great fight. Let's have a great Saturday. Let's have a great video. Let's do it. So, Julia Alva versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Jacqueline Cavalcanti was a minus 480. Julia Avila was a plus 330. Now, Jacqueline Cavalcanti is a minus 750. The biggest favorite on the card. Julia Alva plus 490. We do know that Jared Gordon versus his Roziboev's little brother, Mash Rabjan Roziboev, is off. Roziboev was not able to make weight, and they just canceled that fight off. So now we have 12 fights on the card. It's still a good fight night card, and I think it's still going to prevail. So let's go. Jacqueline Cavalcanti minus 750. Julia Avila plus 490. We know Julia Avila loves to brawl. She's a BJJ black belt, but that's questionable, of course. She lost to Miesha Tate in 2023, where she looked terrible. Now she's matched up against another grappler. Cavalcanti, the biggest favorite on the card, 3-0, looking to make it 4-0 in the UFC. She's very good. She is a little bit of a decision merchant coming off of it's a split decision over Nora Conor, and then prior to that, she had a split decision over Josan Nunes. We know Cavalcanti is the biggest favorite for a reason, and we know Cavalcanti, who is basically 10 years younger, should be able to win this fight inside the distance, if not by decision. But I'm going to say if I have to choose one, guys, it's by decision. She more than likely wins this fight by decision. We're going to go over the props. Let's go. Cavalcanti by points, minus 210. Cavalcanti by sub, plus 1200. Cavalcanti by TKO, plus 450. I think it's likely that the KO is likely because we know Avila can get finished, but the thing is, will she get finished? Julia by points, plus 1000. Julia by KO, plus 1500. Julia by sub, plus 1800. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, minus 300. No, plus 215. I like yes at a minus 300. Over 2.5, minus 360. Under 2.5, plus 250. Over 2.5 is juiced. Julia by KO on points, plus 650. Cavalcanti by sub or points, minus 270. Cavalcanti by KO on points, minus 470. So, I like Cavalcanti by KO on points, minus 470. But I like Cavalcanti by sub or points even more at a minus 270. So, my best props are Cavalcanti by points, straight by decision at a minus 210. Cavalcanti by submission or on points at a minus 270. And that this fight goes the distance at a minus 300. So I'll repeat that all over again. Cavalcanti by points, minus 210. This fight goes the distance at a minus 300. And Cavalcanti by submission or on points at a minus 270. I think she should be able to win this fight. It's going to be a banger fight, and I'm glad that we got Cavalcanti fight week. It's about time we get to see Cavalcanti scrap in the cage. Hopefully she goes 4-0 by the end of Saturday. Let's go. Valter Walker versus Don'Tale Mayes. Anticipated matchup for me, at least. I know a lot of people are saying that this fight's going to be boring. But if you watch my 6 best bets in lock of the week, Valter Walker has some good value. You know, he's not that much of a big favorite over Don'Tale Mayes, a guy who, is always 50-50 in his performances, and sometimes he just looks to strike for space. So with that being said, you guys know I'm going with Valter Walker. We know he opened up at a minus 235. Now he's a minus 250, and Don'Tale Mayes is a plus 198. We know Johnny Walker's little, well, I don't know if this is his little brother, but we know since his UFC debut loss to Lucas Brzeski, Valter Walker has gotten so much better. And not only that, he beat Junior Tafa in round 1, which was very impressive for me. Don'Tale Mayes is always a guy to test the heavyweights. He is 4-5 in the UFC with 1 no contest. He always throws, and sometimes just throws to throw. Valter needs to wrestle. We're going to go over all the odds right now. I'm picking Valter Walker, and I might pick him by decision. Valter by KO, plus 500. Valter by sub, plus 420. Valter by points, plus 145. I like that. Mayes by KO, plus 600. Mayes by sub, plus 2300. Mayes by points, plus 420. Over 2.5, minus 172. Under 2.5, plus 134. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, at a minus 140. No, at a plus 110. Valter Walker by KO on points, minus 135. Valter Walker by submission on points, minus 150. Mayes by KO on points, plus 210. So Junior Tafa, it was a submission but verbal tap. It was a verbal tap, so he said it with his voice, but it counted as a submission. So, in my opinion, I think Valter Walker has been so much better ever since that Junior Tafa fight. He looks more cut. Not only does he look more cut, I'm confident in him to beat Don'Tale Mayes. I like Valter Walker. I like Valter Walker, by points at a plus 145. I like the over 2.5 at a minus 172. I like Valter by submission on points at a minus 150, and then I like Valter Walker, by KO on points at a minus 135. So I'll take the double chance with Valter Walker by submission on points at a minus 150, Walker by KO on points minus 135, over 2.5 minus 172, and Walter by points at a plus 145. Let's go, my guy. I think he should be able to win this fight, and I'm going to go by 29-28 unanimous decision. Elijah Smith versus Vince Morales. We know that these odds have changed like crazy. Elijah Smith was a minus 250. Vince Morales was a plus 190. Now Vince Morales is a plus 122. Elijah Smith is a minus 150. We know what we're going to get with Morales. Sometimes his cardio is a little bit sketchy, but he's coming off a Dana White Contender Series. And we know Vince was cut back in the UFC in 2022 and is back after 5 wins, but recently just lost to Taylor Lapilus. But we know Taylor Lapilus is very good. Now we're going to go over the odds. I will say this is a little bit of a dog or pass situation, but we're going to go over the odds right now. Smith by KO plus 600, Smith by sub plus 1300, Smith by points plus 130. Seems like the bookies and everybody's favoring that this fight goes a distance. It's a matter of who's going to win this fight if this fight goes the full 15 minutes. Vince by KO plus 1200, Vince by sub plus 650, Vince by points plus 240. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, minus 240. No, plus 182. I like that this fight goes the distance at a minus 240. Over 2.5, minus 300. Under 2.5, plus 220. Over 2.5 is already juiced. Smith by KO on points, minus 135. Smith by submission on points, plus 100. Vince by KO on points, plus 185. And Vince by sub or points, plus 145. If you're on Vince Morales, I think a submission is very likely. Vince by submission on points at a plus 145 is very good. But unfortunately, guys, I'm going Elijah Smith. I think Elijah Smith should be able to win this fight. I'm going a little bit of a Hail Mary. This is a 1-800-GAMBLER type of fight. I don't think you should touch this fight with a 10-foot pole. But we know Elijah Smith is the son of Gilbert Smith, whose dad fought in the UFC. And I know that has nothing to do with anything because they're two completely different people, but fighting is in the blood for Elijah Smith. Very low confidence for Elijah Smith, but I'm going to take Elijah Smith. But if you like Vince Morales, I like Vince Morales by submission on points at a plus 145. And if you really want more juice, you can take Vince money line. I guess it's a plus 122, but it's a little bit safer just in case he gets a TKO over Elijah Smith. I'm going to be going Elijah Smith, and I'm going to take my best odds. I'll take this fight goes the distance, yes, at a minus 240. I'll take Smith by points at a plus 130, and then I'll take Smith by KO or on points at a minus 135. Very low confidence on Elijah Smith, but we'll see what he has. Khaos Williams versus Gabriel Bonfim. We know Gabriel Bonfim is the brother of Ismael Bonfim, who's also fighting on this card. Gabriel Bonfim opened up at a minus 245. Earlier this week was a minus 245. Khaos Williams plus 186. Gabriel Bonfim now is a minus 210. Khaos Williams plus 168. The money's coming in on Khaos Williams. Short notice for Khaos Williams. Bonfim is a very good boxer with great BJJ. Patient, only been the distance once in 17 fights. So we know that this fight is going to be a barn burner. Bonfim by submission plus 220. Bonfim by KO plus 550. Bonfim by points plus 280. William by KO plus 300. I like that. We know if William is going to win, if Khaos Williams is going to win, it's by KO, plus 300, light little sprinkle. Williams by sub, plus 2,100. Williams by points, plus 700. Over 2.5, plus 124. Under 2.5, minus 158. Bonfim by KO on points, plus 150. Bonfim by submission on points, minus 135. Khaos Williams by KO or on points, plus 180. So, give me the under 2.5 at a minus 158. Give me Bonfim by submission or on points at a minus 135. And give me, just to go a little bit crazy, Bonfim by sub at a plus 220. I'm thinking that Bonfim is going to have to get a submission. If you're not getting a submission, Khaos Williams is going to put your lights out. So if you want a prop to sprinkle, Khaos Williams by KO plus 300. Perfect little sprinkle. In my opinion, if Williams is going to win this fight, obviously you could take money line. But if you want even more value, you could take Khaos Williams by KO or on points plus 180. I think if Williams is going to win, it's either by KO or on points. You get more juice, and it's a plus 180 instead of taking him at a plus 168. I'm going to take Gabriel Bonfim to win this fight. I will say this is going to be a very close fight. I'm going to take money line at a minus 210. I'm going to take Bonfim by submission at a plus 220. I'll take the under 2.5 at a minus 158, and then I'll take Bonfim by submission on points at a minus 135. Let's go, Gabriel Bonfim. Very tough test for the Bonfim brothers. We'll see if at least one of them gets a W, or if not, both of them. Let's go. I can't wait for this matchup as well. Rafael Estevam making his UFC debut against Jesus Aguilar. We know that this is, if not the most prevalent height difference out of the whole card. Earlier this week, Rafael Estevam was a minus 400. Jesus Aguilar was a plus 285. Now, Estevam is a minus 520, and Jesus Aguilar is a plus 370. Looking to make it 2-0 in the UFC. Oh, he's not making his UFC debut. Correct me, sorry. Looking to make it 2-0 in the UFC. Rafael Estevam, high pressure grappler, throws heavy and sloppy trips, but he gets the body lock sometimes, and he gets the takedown. He had his successful debut over Charles Johnson, where he took him down over 3 times and controlled him for 9 minutes. We know that this guy is very good, especially with that win over Charles Johnson. That's a very good win to have on your resume. Now, we know Jesus Aguilar is a very elite athlete, and he has a lot of submissions. Out of his 11 wins, 8 of those are by stoppage, and out of 8 of those stoppages, 5 of them have ended by guillotine. He has a very good guillotine, and we know he just beat Stuart Nickel by guillotine. So, Estevam by KO plus 420, Estevam by sub plus 210, Estevam by points plus 165, Aguilar by KO plus 1900, Aguilar by sub plus 1000, Aguilar by points plus 750. Over 2.5 minus 116, under 2.5 minus 110. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, plus 112, no, minus 144. Aguilar by sub or points plus 460, Aguilar by KO or on points plus 600. Estevam by KO on points, minus 130. Estevam by submission on points, minus 220. So, give me Estevam by sub at a plus 210. Give me the over 2.5 at a minus 116. Give me that this fight, give me Estevam by KO or on points at a minus 130. And give me Estevam by submission or on points at a minus 220. So, I'm going to take Estevam by submission minus plus 210. I'm going to take the over 2.5 minus 116. I'm going to take Estevam by KO on points, and then Estevam by submission on points, and that being Estevam by submission on points minus 220, Estevam by KO on points minus 130. So, in my opinion, I think he should be able to finish this fight inside the distance, but I think more than likely it's going to end by submission or on points. At a minus 220, I think it's very good, and maybe we can get a little bit of value in the over 2.5 being a minus 116. I know the under 2.5 is a minus 110, so it's a pick your poison. I'm going to take the over 2.5. I think it's going to be very tough, and Aguilar is always tough, bro. Just look at him. Look at where he's from. He's one of the toughest athletes, if not by far one of the toughest athletes in his division. So I'm going to go Estevam. I really do like Estevam by points at a plus 165. So you know what? I'll go Estevam by points plus 165. Over 2.5 minus 116. Estevam by submission on points minus 220. Let's go. Let's go, my guy. Let's go. Now, Jared Gordon versus Rozibov would have been here, but that fight is canceled, so now we move up the card, and we go to Angela Hill versus... We go to Angela Hill versus Denise Gomes, or you can say Ketlen Souza. We know this is going to be a very close fight. Earlier in the week, Angela Hill was a -128, Ketlen Souza was a +100. Now, it's even. -110 for Angela Hill, Ketlen Souza -110. The journeywoman of women's MMA, Angela Hill, versus Ketlen Souza. Is Ketlen Souza going to be able to get this dub? We know she just beat Yasmin Uruguay by submission 3 minutes into round 1 at UFC Noche 306. Low confidence on her cardio, though, because it's very questionable for Ketlen Souza. Hill by points +125. We know somebody's going to win this fight by decision. Hill by KO +1500. Hill by sub +1500. Her odds are always crazy. Souza by points +140. Souza by KO +850. Souza by sub +1800. Over 2.5 -600. Under 2.5 +390. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, -480. No, +330. Souza by sub or points +115. Souza by KO or points -105. Hill by sub or points +100. Hill by KO on points +100. So with this fight right here, I'm going to go Ketlen Souza. I think she should be able to win this fight. But I will say, guys, this is low confidence. Angela Hill is taller. She looks younger. She looks more refreshed. And all she needs to do is win 2 rounds out of the 3. Sorry about that, guys. All she needs to do is win 2 rounds out of the 3, and she should be able to win this fight. I like Angela Hill. I really do, and I think she should be able to win this fight. It's a very winnable fight for her. She's taller than her opponent. She's going to have the longer reach. She's going to be able to hang outside on the outside. I just wonder if Ketlen Souza is going to be able to take this fight to the ground. I'm going to say, obviously, we know the over 2.5 is -600. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, -480. I'm going to take Ketlen Souza money line. I'm going to take Ketlen Souza money line at a -110. I'm going to take Souza by points at a +140. And then I'll just take, will this fight go the distance? Yes, at a -480, parlayable. I know this fight's a little bit sketchy, and I don't recommend betting on this fight, but maybe a live bet would be more interesting. So now we go up the card. My lock of the week, Jose Delgado, guys. If you guys don't know, now you know. My lock of the week, Jose Delgado, -275 earlier in the week versus Connor Matthews, +250. Now Jose Delgado's a -420 versus Connor Matthews, who's a +310. I will say with this fight right here, guys, Jose Delgado's making his UFC debut. And last time, we know Cody Steele was making his UFC debut, and he didn't have any success. So we have to be careful with these guys making their UFC debut. But we know Jose Delgado's coming in with a 100% finish rate, that being a mix of submissions and KOs. I hope he's not too overzealous and pulls a very low IQ move. He has potential, a lot of potential. But I can't say that yet until he performs. So, Delgado by KO +180, Delgado by sub +420, Delgado by points +230, Matthews by KO +800, Matthews by sub +1600, Matthews by points +700, over 2.5 +112, under 2.5 -142. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, +148, no, -160. Delgado by KO on points -185, Delgado by sub or points +105, Matthews by KO on points +380, Matthews by sub or points +500. In my opinion, I think Delgado's going to finish this fight inside the distance. He has a 100% finish rate. We just have to see if it translates into the UFC. We know Alexandre Taporia wasn't able to get a finish. So sometimes with these guys making their UFC debut, sometimes they play a little bit more safer. But I'm going to go Delgado by KO +180. I'm going to go under 2.5 at a -142. And I'm going to take this fight doesn't go the distance at a -190. And then I'll take Delgado by KO on points at a -185. Just in case this fight goes the distance. So, I'm going to take Delgado by KO on points, -185. This fight doesn't go the distance at a -190. Under 2.5 at a -142. And then I'm going to take Delgado by KO straight at a +180. Let me know what you guys think, guys. This is my lock of the week. Does it crash and burn or does it rise? Here we go. Let's fucking go. Now, this is by far a very, 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 very anticipated matchup from me. Rodolfo Vieira versus Andre Petroski. Rodolfo Vieira opened up earlier in the week, was a -225. Petroski was a +172. Now Vieira is a -300. Andre Petroski +235. With this fight right here, we know it's a battle of the grapplers. Petroski might be the better wrestler, and Vieira's the better submission specialist. So, we know Andre Petroski lost to Michel Pereira as well, so that's a little bit of a red flag. But Petroski just beat Dylan Budka, but Dylan Budka missed weight on that fight. Vieira by KO +600, Vieira by sub +150, Vieira by points +270. Give me Vieira by sub at a +150. Petroski by KO +700, Petroski by sub plus 2,000. Petroski by points, plus 470. I think Petroski by points is very likely if he ends up taking the back of Vieira and ends up making this fight a little bit more closer than he needs to be. Over 2.5, plus 102. Under 2.5, minus 130. Under 2.5 for me at a minus 130. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, plus 136. No, minus 174. No, at a minus 174. Vieira by sub or points, minus 185. Vieira by KO on points, plus 155. Petroski by KO on points, plus 260. Petroski by sub or points, plus 380. Give me Vieira by submission on points at a minus 185. Give me Vieira by sub at a plus 150. Give me Vieira by arm triangle sub. And give me the under 2.5 at a minus 130. And give me that this fight doesn't go the distance at a minus 174. And I think Vieira should be able to find a sub. If I have to predict what type of sub, I'm going to go arm triangle. If you know, you know. He's submitted the last 3 guys that he's faced in arm triangle, including Derek Brunson in a grappling match. So I'm going to go Rodolfo Vieira by submission at a plus 150. Rodolfo Vieira by submission on points at a minus 185. The under 2.5 at a minus 130. And this fight doesn't go the distance at a minus 174. I think Rodolfo Vieira should be able to find a submission. I'm going to go round 2 or 3 submission. Let's go. Let's go Vieira, if not round 1. If there's an over 1.5, I think I'd play fire with it. 413, let's go. The other brother, Ismael Bonfim versus Nazim Sadykhov. Ismael was a minus 192. Nazim was a plus 148. Now, when we're looking at it, it seems like the odds have fluctuated a lot because I do think the odds have gotten a lot closer than we expected it to be. So with this fight right here, Ismael Bonfim is a minus 220 now, and Nazim is a plus 176. So it seems like the money's coming in on Ismael Bonfim. I will say this is going to be one of those close fights. We know a lot of people are heavy on Nazim Sadykhov. With this fight right here, I think Bonfim by KO plus 420 is not that likely. Bonfim by sub plus 700. Bonfim by points plus 135. That's a little bit more likely for me. Nazim by KO plus 550. Nazim by sub plus 1,000. Nazim by points plus 480. If you want to sprinkle the KO from Nazim, it's possible. It's very possible. But I do think the Nazim by points at a plus 480 is more in my favor if I'm going with Nazim Sadykhov. Over 2.5 minus 166. Under 2.5 plus 130. Will this fight go the distance? Yes at a minus 134. No at a plus 106. I think it goes the distance. Bonfim by KO on points, minus 155. Bonfim by sub points, minus 120. Nazim by KO on points, plus 230. Nazim by sub points, plus 310. If you want Nazim, I say take him by KO on points at a plus 230. You get more value, the most value that you can, and you get more juice on it. In my opinion, though, I'm going to take Bonfim by points at a plus 135. I'm going to take this fight goes the distance at a minus 134. And then I'll take Bonfim by KO on points at a minus 155. I think he should be able to win this fight. So I think he should be able to win this fight, right? I think he should be able to win this fight, but it'll be very rare if both of the Bonfim brothers win. If both of the Bonfim brothers win this Saturday, it's going to be very rare. So, guys, if there's any brother that's going to lose, in my opinion, it's this one, Ismael Bonfim. I mean, obviously, there's a chance that both of them could lose. But, I'm going to have to go with... I don't know who I'm going to pick. This is a little bit of a trouble one for me, but I'm going to go Bonfim. I'm going to go Bonfim, guys. I'm going to go Bonfim. I know very low confidence, guys. I'm going to go Bonfim. I'm going to go Bonfim by points at a plus 135. I'll take... Will this fight go the distance? Yes, at minus 134. And then I'll take Bonfim by KO on points at a minus 155. Very low confidence, 1-800 gambler type of fight. If it's a dog or pass situation, but I'm going very low confidence for me. I'm going to go Ismael Bonfim for the win. Let's go. 436. Let's go. Edmen Shahbazyan versus Dylan Budka. We know Dylan Budka looks more cut than ever. Edmen Shahbazyan minus 320 earlier in the week, plus 235 for Dylan Budka. Now, Edmen Shahbazyan minus 385, Dylan Budka plus 290. I think this fight's not going the distance. Edmen by KO plus 135, Edmen by sub plus 500, Edmen by points plus 290. Dylan Budka by KO plus 1500, Dylan Budka by sub plus 1000, Dylan Budka by points plus 550, over 2.5 plus 118, under 2.5 minus 150. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, plus 154. No, minus 200. Budka by KO on points, plus 410. Budka by sub or points, plus 360. Edmen by KO on points, minus 200. Edmen by sub or points, plus 145. This feels like deja vu with Gerald Meerschaert, where I went heavy on Edmen Shahbazyan and he ends up losing. So this is a little bit of a 1-800-gambler type of fight, but I think Edmen Shahbazyan should be able to win this fight. I like Edmen by KO at a plus 135 straight. I like the under 2.5 at a minus 150. I like this fight doesn't go the distance at a minus 200. And I like Edmen Shahbazyan by KO on points at a minus 200. I think if Edmen Shahbazyan is going to win this fight, it's by KO or on points. It's not by submission. If anything, he's going to lose this fight by submission. I'm going to go Edmen, I'll say it again, by KO plus 135. Under 2.5 minus 150. This fight doesn't go the distance at a minus 200. And then Edmen by KO on points at a minus 200. Turns a minus 385 to a minus 200. So let's go. 502. I can't believe it's already co-main event time. Youssef Zalal versus Cavalcanti. Earlier in this week, Zalal was a minus 430, plus 300 for Kattar. Now, Kattar is a plus 350. Zalal is a minus 480. So with this fight right here, guys, Zalal by KO plus 1500. Zalal by sub plus 280. Zalal by points minus 125. We know Youssef Zalal is coming off of 3 submission wins back to back to back. So that guy might get a submission right here. Kattar by KO plus 800. Kattar by sub plus 3,600. Kattar by sub plus 3,600. That is one of the biggest lines I've ever seen. Kattar by points plus 700. Over 2.5 minus 235. Under 2.5 plus 182. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, minus 186. No, plus 144. Zalal by sub or points minus 370. Zalal by KO on points minus 160. Kattar by KO on points plus 380. So with this fight right here, guys, I think Youssef Zalal can finish this fight inside the distance, but I'm going to go Youssef Zalal by decision because I think the Boston guy is going to be a little bit more tough. He's going to be a little bit more tough than we expect him to be. He's always been tough, and it's hard to finish him. I'm going to take Zalal by points at a minus 125. I'm going to take the over 2.5 at a minus 235. If you know the 6 best bets, the first bonus was the over 2.5 of the co-main event. Youssef Zalal versus Kattar. And the other bonus is Zalal by sub or points at a minus 370. So I'm going to repeat that, guys. I'm going to go Zalal by sub or points minus 370. Over 2.5 at a minus 235. Zalal by points at a minus 125. And this fight goes the distance at a minus 186. And then I'm just going to take double chance. Obviously, Zalal by sub or points at a minus 370. I'm just going to repeat all of them again. Zalal by sub or points minus 370. Over 2.5 minus 235. And Zalal by points straight at a minus 125. Let's go. Here we go, Zalal. Let's see. I think he should be able to win the fight after losing the first round. Let's go. 5:37. It's already time for Robocop. Robocop time, guys. Robocop. If you guys have been here, guys, drop a like, guys. Appreciate all you guys. Let's go. Plus 162 for Cannonier earlier this week. Gregory Rodrigues was a minus 210. Now Gregory Rodrigues is a minus 230. And Cannonier is a plus 184. We know Robocop is looking to crack into the top 10 of the middleweight division. And he's going to have to go through Jared Cannonier in order to deal with that. Jared Cannonier is going to give everything that he's got. In my opinion, guys, this is going to be an absolute barn burner for a fight. And this is what Apex main events should look like. Gregory, I'm going to call him Robocop. Robocop by KO plus 130. Cannonier by KO plus 370. Robocop by points plus 470. Robocop by submission plus 600. Cannonier by points plus 650. Cannonier by submission plus 1800. And we know a draw is plus 5,000. With this fight right here, I like the over 2.5. You guys know the second bonus was the over 2.5, but the over 2.5 has gained value. It's a minus 108 now, and the under 2.5 is a minus 118. So it looks like the bookies are favoring that this fight doesn't go the distance and that it ends under 2.5. Fight ends by KO minus 185. Fight ends by points plus 240. Will this fight go the distance? Plus 240. Yes. No. Minus 340. Robocop by submission on points plus 230. Robocop by KO on points minus 150. Robocop by sub or KO minus 130. Cannonier by KO on points I think is, let me just double check. Cannonier by KO or on points is a plus 200. In my opinion, if you want more value for Cannonier, take him by KO or on points at a plus 200. I'm going to be taking RoboCop by KO at a plus 130. I'm going to take that this fight doesn't go the distance at a minus 340. I'm going to take the over 2.5 at a minus 108. And then I'm going to take double chance RoboCop by KO or on points at a minus 150. So I'm going to repeat it all over again from top to bottom. RoboCop by KO plus 130. This fight doesn't go the distance at a minus 340. The over 2.5 at a minus 108. And then I'm going to take Gregory Rodrigues by KO or on points at a minus 150. I think Gregory Rodrigues should be able to finish this fight in second, third, or fourth round. We know if we're going to try to look for some KO props. Let's say we look for some KO props. Gregory Rodrigues to win by KO in rounds 3, 4, and 5 is plus 450. Gregory Rodrigues to win by KO in rounds 1, 2, or 3 is plus 195. Cannonier to win by KO in rounds 1, 2, or 3 plus 500. Cannonier to win by KO in rounds 3, 4, or 5 plus 950. I like Gregory Rodrigues to win by KO in rounds 2, 3, or 4 plus 300, but I prefer Gregory Rodrigues to win by KO in rounds 3, 4, and 5 at a plus 450. So obviously my best prop is RoboCop by KO on points at a minus 150 and the over 2.5 at a minus 108. I think this is going to be an absolute barn burner. I think RoboCop should be able to handle and manage distance, but he needs to grapple in my opinion, because if you get hit with the hands of Cannonier, you might get absolutely dropped. So with that being said, guys, I'll repeat it one more time. I'm going to take the over 2.5 at a minus 108. I'll take double chance RoboCop by KO on points at a minus 150. I'll take this fight doesn't go the distance at a minus 340. And then I'll take RoboCop by KO at a plus 130. Let me know what you guys think, guys. Do you guys like this? Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. The best is blessed, baby. You guys think my lock of the week is going to cash? What do you guys think? Are you guys excited for this Apex card? What do you rate it 1 through 10? And thank you guys for being here, guys. Your support means more than anything, especially right now. Thank you guys for everything. Hope you guys enjoy this card, and I hope you guys cash out. Let's get it. Peace.